Well, hello everyone. Hope you guys have had a good day. I just woke up recently, but I really wanted to share an interesting subreddit post that I had made that a friend of mine had just shown me the other day, um, which no one's talking about. No, I think very few people even know it exists, but it was made by the writer of the Ghost of Tsushima film. I guess he was on strike for months, so he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to. So I wanted to go over what it was. In case you guys don't know, the actor or the writer of uh, the script for Ghost of Tsushima, his name is Takashi Dosher. So he's a Japanese American, and he's relatively new on the scene. I don't think he's done too many work except some indie things. So um, his work, I guess, is yet to be scrutinized by fans and stuff. But this could be a big break for him, so he could, really hit it right when he does it. So, anyways, I wanted to go and share with everyone what is it that he actually posted. I'm just going to do a little bit of sharing this around to folks. I happen to be in a community of people. It's called the Lore Keepers of Tsushima. I try to get some of them on here if they can. Okay. Yep, as long as you guys are able to hear me well, I'm going to actually begin to study and analyze the uh, uh, the post that we have here. So if I go here and flip to the page, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can read it along with me. See how that looks. And I can like that. I would try to move my thing. Yeah, a little bit like that's fine. So yeah, let's actually start from the top here and read through this one. So Takashi, he's being very diplomatic with the post. He never mentions Ghost of Tsushima. He only talks of it in very vague terms, but it's pretty obvious to me what he is referring to. So let's start from the top. How I won the biggest job of my career. He says here, a couple years ago, I got the phone call every writer director dreams of. I had just won the job, and it was not just any job. It was the job of writing for a major studio, adapting a very exciting piece of IP, intellectual property, for one of the biggest directors working. You can probably guess who that might be. This was a truly game changing, pinch me, WTF kind of moment. I remember that night, after putting the kids to bed, just sitting on my porch with my partner and soaking in the moment. Like no time before, it felt like I had arrived. So, how did it happen? How did I win this job? In truth, it was the result of years of work. It was the writing, countless scripts, turning a few into decent films, doing my nearly 10 years of in LA, meeting people, fostering those relationships, and a ton of luck. It was from the hard work of my incredible team, my manager and agents, who saw the opportunity, helped me set up a few general meetings before the pitches started, and then lobbied for me during the countless rounds of pitching during the span of several months. It was also from the incredible support of my family, mostly my partner, wife, who was able to give me the time and space to develop the pitch. So it sounds like this was probably out in early 2021 that they had started um, uh, looking for a writer to adapt the script of Ghost of Tsushima, and it seems like it took a while, so he was not pulled out right away. So I'd kind of like to know who else was applying for this job and how many writers really wanted to do it, but I guess we'll never know that for sure. Again, we continue here, but I also like to think it had a little something to do with the pitch itself. It was probably about 15 minutes long and laid out both my take and a little about myself. There were no pictures or flashy videos. It was all over Zoom, just me talking into the computer. In fact, I had the pitch written out on a document that I put just below the computer's camera so my eyeline wasn't off. I scrolled with my mouse as I read, pausing and looking away at times to try to make it seem more conversational and not like I was reading from a script. That was it. That's kind of how most people do job interviews anyways. That's doesn't seem very surprising. Although I don't really know what the pitch itself is. It's more like instead of selling just your script, you're really selling yourself. I think that's what it's really about. And selling your creativity and what makes you a special person. I think Chad Stahelski was probably on the panel judging folks, and it's from what he goes on here. I think Chad was really looking for passion above all else. I think a lot of game developers do not, or a lot of these adaptations are being run by a lot of people that really don't care about the franchise as much as we do as gamers. But Chad is someone different, and I think he actually had some say about who could join the project. So he tried to make sure it was someone that really cares. And as you'll see here, Takashi is definitely not the typical fanboy gamer person, but he is something really special. So I'm going to start again from here. So why did this work? Did they select me for the job? Well, I can't be totally for sure. Here are 4 basic things I believe helped me win the biggest job in my career. So, number 1, do the work. I researched a ton. I dug into the IP, Ghost of Tsushima. In this case, it was a video game that was being adapted into a film. As I have very young children, my free time to game has gotten severely constrained. I knew of the game, but just hadn't had the chance to play it between bottles, diapers, and trips to the playground. That's very reasonable. Gamers have a certain amount of time that they can use in their day to dedicate to the hobby. And when you become a professional artist or a professional writer, I don't blame them when they say they're not gamers anymore. So that makes sense. So he says, I just bought a used console and played the game. This is for work, babe. I watched countless hours of Twitch streams and YouTube playthroughs, so I'm very curious who he looked at. Maybe like Twitch streams, he probably just checked out some people that were playing it right then. But then with like YouTube, he probably checked out like Rad Brad or maybe he checked out some Japanese people too, actually. He says here, I talked to friends and family who had also played the game. I knew why I loved the game, but I also wanted to learn why everyone else loved this property so much. And that's good for him too, because that kind of gives him bigger perspective that way. Up until very recently, video game to movie adaptations hadn't gone so well. I wanted to make sure I did everything in my power to avoid this curse. That's good to hear. I also went back and watched a ton of old Japanese samurai films. As this video game was heavily inspired by Kurosawa, I wanted to really dig in there and comb through the works of Kurosawa, Kobayashi, and Okamoto. I wanted to be knowledgeable on not just the game, but all of the things that the game referenced. I wonder if he checked out Star Wars too, but he probably knew that. But there's a lot of strange parallels between Star Wars and Ghost of Tsushima also. Um, for me, I absolutely love Kurosawa. Of all the films I've seen, I don't know, I've seen like 6 or 7 by now, and there's plenty more that I could check out. But I had seen a lot of the films before watching um, the game, so I can definitely attest to the fact there is some very heavy references to Kurosawa in the game. Okay, so Takashi's takeaway here is do not get lazy, do not try to wing it, research the thing you are pitching on, research the people you are pitching to, practice the pitch, rewrite the pitch, do the work. Makes sense? That's the kind of person you want to see on the Ghost of Tsushima film, so. Next here, number 2, show your passion. I believe that so much of a pitch is bringing the energy and passion for whatever you are pitching. This doesn't mean you need to be loud or theatrical. If you're naturally introverted, be yourself. But people want to feel the passion and see the excitement in your eyes. I like to start every pitch by talking about all the things that I love about the material. That's really great to hear. The setting, the characters, the epic canvas, the intimate relationships. Thankfully, I truly love this material and would be over the moon to work on it. I made sure to communicate that immediately. Yep, I think that really mattered. Not that it means the project is automatically going to be a masterpiece, but it doesn't hurt to actually care about it. And honestly, I think Ghost is pretty easy to care about just because of how high quality it is. Um, so, okay, his takeaway is yes, this is a job, yes, this is work, but people want to hire someone who cares, who genuinely loves what they're doing. The only way they will know this is if you tell them and show them. Conversely, you can't find a single thing that excites you about the job, then don't pitch it. Find someone else. Yeah, makes sense. My guess is Chad Stahelski had a very strong pitch for Sony, and that's why he was like, please let me direct this film. Like, even though I'm not Japanese, I love Japanese culture, etc., etc. He definitely won over PlayStation that way. All right. Now we come to number 3. Connect to your own story. I was pitching on a Japanese story set in ancient Japan. I am half Japanese. I would be lying if I didn't acknowledge that this helped. That being said, just showing up and looking the part wasn't enough. I don't think it should ever be. I connected the story to my own in ways that went beyond the superficial. Yes, I grew up watching Chanbara reruns with my grandparents, samurai TV shows, literally translated as sword fighting. But I also grew up in the suburbs of Atlanta. Not exactly Tokyo or even New York or LA in terms of Japanese culture center. So instead, I related to the main character's internal journey, his conflict of identity. That's reasonable. In the game, the main character is metaphorically being pulled in opposite directions, staying true to his rigid upbringing while also adapting to the very new situation he finds himself in. Now, that was something I could connect with. That's nice. As a half Asian kid in Georgia, I felt that struggle constantly. Am I Japanese? Am I American? How much do I embrace the Japanese side of my upbringing while also trying to belong to that very American, mostly white, conservative suburbs of Georgia? You know what? I bet he found there's a lot more in common than he thought, you know. I think Japan and conservative America have a lot in common. So this is what I talked about in my pitch. Beyond the name or skin color, I tried to communicate my personal connection to the story. I tried to communicate why I could be the right person for the job. Takeaway, people are looking to hire more than they are looking to buy a specific idea that you're pitching. A successful pitch is not really about giving the studio the right key to a specific door they're trying to unlock. Instead, a successful pitch shows them why you are the right locksmith. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it was a good idea to hire someone who was half Japanese, just for optics' sake. I mean, Chad really wants it to be authentic and, to actually have some like special touch there. He is not Japanese, but he does speak Japanese and he's been there multiple times. So that's his kind of special connection. But, having more people in the creative side and the producers and writing, actually having Japanese connections. Even Sucker Punch hired lots of Japanese consultants to work for them. So that makes sense um, to do that. They want this work to not just be Asian American or Japanese. I think they want something in between so that they can please both audiences. The way Ghost did. Ghost hit a very special medium that way that I think they pleased both sides of the world. Okay. Number 4, go big. I pitched a crazy and wild and surprising adaptation. I stayed true to the characters and plot points and themes, but went wild with the structure. It was Rashomon or Harakiri. That actually, since I know, I don't know Harakiri, but I know Rashomon. So it makes me wonder if what he was doing with the structure, perhaps he set up a scene where Jin is far in the past and he's telling his story of what happened. And he's telling it from his perspective. And then for whatever reason, we switch over to Shimura's perspective. And then he tells the story how he saw it. And then we switch to Yuna's perspective and how she saw it. And then somewhere at the end, then we get like the peasant's version, which is the true story. That's how Rashomon works, that there's multiple characters, but then there's this one kind of unseen observer that actually knows the real story and didn't have any biases connected to it. So you know what? That's actually, I wouldn't say that's probably the way the adaptation should go, but that's very interesting that he pitched something like that at the beginning. So I really recommend Rashomon to anyone that wants to watch Kurosawa films. It's very short. It's only about an hour and a half, and it tells everything you would want to know about Kurosawa, what kind of writer he is, and director and everything. Anyways, let's continue here. It was the renaissance of 1960s Japanese cinema and Eastern storytelling. Put it simply, I absolutely swung for the fences creatively. In truth, the story of the game is amazing. Great. It is beautiful, emotional, thrilling, and rich. It does not need some wild imagining. But for the pitch, I couldn't just regurgitate the plot of the game. Not if I wanted to stand out, to show that I was creative. I had to prove I had vision. I think that might be a little bit frustrating to deal with because adaptations, sequels, prequels, those are just so common these days that I think writers are kind of forced into this corner that they have to be special, with their pitch. And then there's a risk that the production is going to force them to hold true to their pitch and be like, hey, you have to actually make this happen the way you pitched it. But really, it's about like standing out, So I don't blame him for being kind of crazy with that. But as you'll see later in the thing, that's not necessarily what we're going to see. Takashi's takeaway here is, it doesn't matter if your pitch is not what they think they're looking for. Again, you are not trying to give them the right answer. Your goal is to entertainment, to surprise them, to get them excited about something they have probably tried, or they're probably tired of and gotten bored with. A studio exec may hear a dozen pitches from a dozen different writers. They may have worked on this project for years with nothing to show for it. They want to feel the magic again for this project. You have 15 years to bring the magic. Yeah, so if you went for like a Rashomon focus when he was doing his pitch, man, actually I kind of would have wanted to hear it. Not that the movie has to be like that, but I mean, they could frame it some way. They could start the adaptation with Jin as like an older man, and he's telling like the story of the ghost, but then there's like peasants that tell their version of the story and all that. I wouldn't be opposed to a framework like that where there's an outer story and then ghost is like um the inner story, I guess, the frame story. So, all right, one last paragraph here. At the end of the day, I was the lucky one. As the time of this writing, I'm still the lucky one. I'm still the sole writer on this project that will be hopefully moving forward in the near future. Hopefully these tips can be helpful, whether you are in the film industry or not. Oh, and to the fans of the game, listen up here. It's not the version I ended up writing. I hope we did a really lovely job of remaining respectful to the source material while also throwing in some nice surprises. That being said, there is winning the job and then there's doing the job. I have come to learn that these are two very different things. So, we come to the quote here. There's a lot of really cool comments that people put in here, but as you can see at the top, this is definitely him. It's N Takashi D. Yeah. So it's no one. It can't be anyone else. It's no one faking him or pretending to be him. It's him. Um, so out of being diplomatic here, he does not mention anyone that's related to it. So he's not mentioning Chad or Sony or Ghost. That's contractually obligated, probably. So, and I think me pointing it out, I don't think that's necessarily a risk, because it's just because we're such fans that we just know this stuff. There's a lot of people that would read this thing and they just be like, "Oh, that's really exciting. You're doing a video game adaptation," but they wouldn't necessarily know that it's Ghost. So, oh yeah. Oh, hello SDK, and also hello B Kai. Yeah, I definitely recommend taking a look at this and looking at um, quotes and stuff. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can directly get a link in here. Maybe I can, and then you guys can read it for yourselves. Uh, Hold on a second here. And I'll be able to put that quickly in here. Let's see if this works. Okay, that doesn't work, so I'll have to... I guess I'll have to find this link on... I'll just work on this for a moment. But anyways, yeah, it's nice to see you guys come in here. I'm gonna save this video for posterity so that a lot of people can check it out on their own. So yeah, well, I'm gonna post this from my phone. That's how I'm gonna make this work. See if I can find that thread. Yep. There we go. Let's put this in here. I think that's the right link to get to it. You guys can let me know if that works. But anyways, my conversation about this is not over actually. So I noticed a couple of things just reading through it for my own sake of what we can expect for the movie adaptation. So not once did he mention any sort of struggle or experience of writing the script in Japanese. So that was the biggest takeaway that I actually got from this was he clearly pitched this in English. He clearly started working on a script in English. and he has no mentioning here of, oh, we're going to need another script writer to translate this, um, or it's going to be big work for me to put this in other languages. He doesn't make any mention of that at all. So it makes me wonder if maybe they're not going to do it in Japanese, or maybe they will do like two true um, versions of it. So and they're gonna have the Japanese version where the cast is speaking um, out loud in Japanese, like the actual actors, and then they may have an English dub that they may provide on top. I don't know exactly how they will do that, but they might do one or the other. They have either originally English and a Japanese dub, or originally Japanese and then an English dub using his script. Um, he doesn't mention anything here about speaking Japanese. Is that part of his culture? Maybe, but he says like that wasn't a part of his pitch. He wasn't saying I speak Japanese. Um, so I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do about the language of the film. Um, that's it just wasn't covered here. So um, anyways, it told me a lot about what this guy is like. So he's definitely a nerd, kind of like Chad, but he's very reasonable. So he's not just like a gamer nerd. It's clear he had never had a PlayStation before. He just bought one in order to do it. Someone had to have pitched it to him and said, "Hey, there's going to be a game adaptation or like a movie adaptation for this game. Have you heard of it?" And maybe he had never heard of it, but he was like, "Oh, but it's Kurosawa inspired. Maybe I should look into it." And then he went through all the research. So the fact that he wasn't like a fan from day one, I have no problem with that. It sounds like he loved it anyways. It kind of reminds me of Tony Gilroy with Star Wars, if you guys know about that. So Tony Gilroy was not a huge Star Wars fan, but when it came to actually writing things like Rogue One and Andor, he actually did the research. He didn't just shove it off and say, "Oh, I don't need this stuff to tell my story." But he did it, and he got his actors to also study it, and just by just working with it, they just fell in love with it anyways. They found their corner. So I think we shouldn't be too critical of creators that are not like OG fans of something. The way like Dave Filoni is like an OG Star Wars fan. But as long as they're open in the here and now and they want other people to love it as much as they do, that's about as good as we can get it. We don't have to have gamers be the creators of this game. But it turns out I guess we do. So uh, both Takashi and Chad have both played the game. Maybe they've played it multiple times even to see the ending. It seems like they're very knowledgeable, which is great. Oh, Prey had a Navajo and English version. Had to do the lines twice, or if it's just dubbed over. Interesting. I wonder what they were putting in theaters. Maybe maybe they put the Navajo like in select theaters. Comanche. Oh, okay. It was a dub. Oh, you're looking it up now. Yeah. Because Ghost of Tsushima, like it has a huge Japanese audience, but they're not the majority still. I think North America and Europe are still the biggest. So they may just go with English anyways, even though Chad is saying over and over again like what he wants to do. So he might do English originally, and they'll all have Japanese accents, of course. And then he'll have a Japanese dub, like a really proper one. Like maybe he'll get the actors to do it twice over because uh, if they can be both like a really great English actor and a Japanese language actor. So I'm gonna look through the comments here, see what people said. Oh, he says here, dude, if you're making the Ghost of Tsushima movie, I'm going to cry. That's the highest one here. Yeah, had the same guess. Yeah, it's clear. Yep. Can't wait to see how your structured changes play into the film. We'll see. Yeah, one of the only games to ever make me cry at the ending. Yep. I want to cry. I want the adaptation to be so good that I cry just the same way as the game. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It just has to hit that right note. So it looks like there's a lot of film people in film school and stuff. So say hi to Chad for us. Yeah. Now with the actor strike, then they can start trying to find cast for real and start negotiating with people. Yep, immediately thought this is going to be Ghost of Tsushima, right? Yep, looks like everyone here is really supportive. There's probably fans, and then there's while doing a great job not revealing the IP. Yep. So we're not trying to endanger his career or anything, I'd say. Like no, he was diplomatic enough. He's not exposing anything. Um and he didn't expose anything specific about the process, like because I think you have to keep the pitch process mostly secret of like how many meetings there were and what was discussed and stuff, and he did not do that here. So yeah. Oh, hello, Loki Whisperer. Daisuke Tsuji would reprise the role. He's legit Japanese American. You know, he really wants to. I don't know if you guys know about this, but I'm friends with Daisuke Tsuji. He has a Twitch channel and a Discord, and I've been a fan of him for like 3 years now, and we're kind of like on speaking terms. So, um, I've met him one time in person. Um, I'm not like a close friend or anything, but I am like an acquaintance that he knows. And his comment on it is he just, hopes and prays. So there's nothing he can really do about it if someone comes in there and they have like a much stronger performance, like when they do the auditions. But um, I really hope he goes through the whole audition process. So he wins it fair and square, and he dedicates all of it. I think he said his major worry about it is he does not have the same kind of actor like action experience as um, a lot of the other people out there that are wanting to do the roles, because he's never done like huge choreography for action film. Uh, so that might be the hard part. But then again, you can always get training. People people learn how to do like stunt work and stuff. Like 2 months, like before a film comes, and then they're ready. So I guess it depends on what he wants to do. But yeah, he could do it. He could speak in Japanese and English. So I mean, we can just keep hoping that they might use him. Um, then again, if they decide not to and they just completely recast everybody, it might be better for me personally, because if they decide to make a lot of changes or the characters act differently, I think I'll be able to distinguish or like separate the game and the movie from each other, and then I'm not comparing them in my mind as much. Um, I think that will help me tolerate the film better if the film is significantly different from the game. So it'll just be like a different project. I can look at it on its own merits. Keanu Reeves. Do you think Keanu Reeves would make an Easter egg roll there? What if he's like a Mongol? I could see that. Because like the Mongols have a lot of masks on. That Keanu could just be in the background somewhere with a mask, and only if people like really know what he looks like, they'll recognize him. Um, Same with like the other cast. If they get Dice to be a cameo role, I would love that too. Like, what if he? I don't know. What if he's like um he's an actual samurai in a battle there, just like standing in the background. Like I would like that, or if he's in some sort of comical scene, that would be kind of funny. So it'd be honestly weird to see another character play a major character. Yeah. There's like a new project that's coming out. What's it called? Shogun. I want to see what happens if I just pull up a new Shogun TV show. What's happening on the screen now? Okay, it's pulling up the pulling up this. So yeah, we have people like Hiroyuki Sanada. He could be Shimura. I'm kind of seeing it now. If you go to look at like photos of him, he's playing like this. Where is he? Oh, that's like this is like the old show. But yeah, if you yeah, because Shogun was actually a very old series, like a long time ago. This is a remake, but do they have any scenes from the? No, I mean look at 2024. Then we'll like he's here, but there are some other images of him that I saw that were like really strong for. I guess I'll look him up specifically. So that I thought like, oh, he could definitely beat Shimura. Um, huh. Yeah, that's funny. I guess they don't have enough stuff on they don't have enough stuff on Google right now to be able to share all that. That's interesting. I don't oh yeah. Well, here's a picture of him. Yeah. I think he could be Shimura, I think. Like I would be okay with that. Although I don't know, I really liked Eric Steinberg the way he did it. He was just really great. Have you seen Kiru um Tsushima short film? I think I've seen that one. There's like people out in the field, and then one of them turns on his compatriots, and then they all do like a very quick duel where they just like do a few moves and then they're done. So there's no, it wasn't very fancy choreography. And I'd say like yeah, that was a good fanfic for being like within the space of um Ghost of Tsushima because there's this one side tale where like a bandit takes revenge on um the other bandits around him because he finds out they killed his family and all that. That's like in Act 2 region, linked to the Shogun trailer. Yeah. I don't know what would happen if I started playing the Shogun trailer here. I think that could cause some copyright issue. So I don't even know what to do about that. Let's see. IMDb, you can look at that. Of all the people. I wonder if they have any screen. Yeah, that's another image of him. I wonder if they have any more of that. I kind of wonder if what was playing now? I wonder if um he gets tired of playing samurai or just playing like an older samurai figure. See if I can find some images. I guess she's gonna be this lady, she's gonna be like an assassin that fights for him. I think I'm gonna watch it. Like me and a friend and a couple other people, we're gonna watch it, and it's gonna be his audition for the role to see if we like him playing that. Because if it works, then I'll go with it. So can't really think of anyone else because because I don't know if you guys know this, but Eric Steinberg, who plays Lord Shimura, he actually has a lot of action experience. So like doing fight choreography and things like that. So he actually could be Shimura if he wanted. He's just not Japanese actually. He's half Korean. So yeah, Ken Watanabe or Samurai Cinema royalty, and they should be in Ghost. Yeah, I think star power is going to help. the 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 movie is definitely going to be rated R, so it's going to have a small audience just because of that. Um, it's not going to be like the Mario movie that gets like 100 million box office. It might only get like 25 million, but if they keep to a small budget, that might be worth it, for like a opening weekend. A good Kazumasa. Yeah, if they have some Kazumasa flashbacks, they could do that. Um, I'm not too familiar with Japanese actresses, so I don't really know who would be like a good match for Yuna or Tomoe or anyone like that. I'm definitely gonna miss the old cast. I just like them so much. They're just so great. Here, let's go to Ghost of Tsushima cast. Just get to see all the people. I think what made Ghost of Tsushima really cool was it really was like Asian American project because all the big cast, all these like big names here, very few of them were Japanese. A lot of them were Chinese, Korean, Thailand, Filipino. It just became a very diverse thing like that. So like Norio is Korean, and I think he's Cambodian. Ishikawa is Cambodian. Patrick, he is Chinese, half Chinese, but he is, yeah, I think he has some like Inner Mongolia roots there. All these people. So yeah, so they're gonna change a lot of things about the game. They'll make it much more Japanese oriented instead of a Asian story. Really a Japanese story. I'm gonna flip over to this here because on that share screen, like none of your comments are like showing up side there, but if you guys want to chat some more about your speculation about the movie, we can do so here for the last couple minutes. I made a video, was it earlier this year? Just giving my speculation about the second game, like the sequel. But for the movie, I mean, I just want them to be pretty accurate with the adaptation. I think they could go wrong in a couple areas. Um, I think they could make the conflict between Jin and Chimera too stereotypically uh anti-establishment. Like I think they could easily villainize Chimera to a point where like nobody um sympathizes with him. And I think what makes Ghost so great is that at least for most people, they will end up sympathizing with Chimera's side of it, where he's kind of powerless and not really able to do the things that Jin can do, even if he wanted to. So I just want them to keep Shimura like really accurate, very true to himself in all aspects. And that means like, yes, he is very stubborn and doesn't want to listen to Jin, uh, but still very compassionate. Like they can't make Shimura like a cruel person. I feel like that's totally missing the point of like everything. He's not like that. So the woman who played Miss Megumi in Rurouni Kenshin could be a good Yuna. Look her up. Megumi. Let's see. What's her name? Takani Megumi. Images. Oh, is it the voice actor? Or is this a live action thing? Yeah, I don't know who the actress of the voice actor. Yu Aoi? Is that them? Yu Aoi? Okay. I see one picture of her here. I think it's like a live action version. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, anyone that knows how to fight. Yeah, Yu Aoi. Yeah. Anyone who knows how to fight is a really good option. Um, has that kind of skill set. Because like Yuna does stealth, she does sword fighting, and she does archery. I guess archery is her main thing. Um, it looks like my media source froze, so that means I probably need to switch it. Let me go find another file. I have a lot of different videos I could use. Let's do this one. There. This is Iki Island from here. You know what makes Ghost of Tsushima really Kurosawa? I would say it's two characters in particular that really stood out to me as being like Kurosawa inspired, and that would be Ishikawa and Kenji. So with Ishikawa being the teacher sensei who is always kind of like talking back or like trying to one up Jin all the time. That is very common in Kurosawa films, where you'll have some sort of like grumpy samurai like that, um, who ends up having like a secret backstory, and like they lie a lot, and then you have to kind of find out the truth. So like that kind of happens in Seven Samurai a little bit, um, and also Ishikawa's whole thing about like, oh, you need to survey the land before you go and do something. That's directly from Seven Samurai. So like everything about that character really felt inspired. And then with Kenji, well, with like Kurosawa films, comic relief is super important. You got to have some sort of peasant in there that has like um, common sense and looks at life like on the regular level, and also, yeah, serves as comic relief. Like Kenji is really bad, so he makes that contrast with Jin. So yeah, I feel kind of sad that the film won't develop those characters very much. They'll just kind of be there, like Norio and Masako. They'll kind of show up and be like, "Hey, here's my team of followers that we're gonna follow you, Jin." But they're probably not gonna go into their side tales and what drives them and everything. It's kind of a shame. Trek to Yomi. Oh yeah, I've played that game. I played it this summer. Very short game. It only took maybe 3 days of playing it, and really liked the art style on that one. Did you know that the bad guy, Kagero, is voiced by Akio Otsuka, who also voices Shimura in the Japanese version. So I guess he's common for villain characters. That actor. Uh, so it's just kind of funny to notice that voice. He was great. Is this you guys able to see me? Okay, we're back. Yep. So it looks like the stream is fine. Yep. It could be better if they did a series instead of a movie, similar to Marco Polo. Yep. I think they're just too afraid to spend too much money on it, and they're afraid that it wouldn't make enough. I don't know what Chad Stahelski's experience with TV shows is, anyways. So he might not be into that as much, um, which is a shame. But yeah, I think TV would have been a lot better for the cast in general. You could really have like some serious moments with like Yuriko or any of like the main three. The main three would be Norio, Masako, and Ishikawa. Oh, that film got canceled, or that show got canceled. Uh, Thinking what else I would want to see with the movie itself. They may have to cut some things out of it, or just like shorten things to get to the point. But there are four main battles in the game that they kind of need to do. So that's like a lot of stuff they need to fit in there. This could be like a 3 hour movie unless they cancel it. So I think so we have Komoda Beach, we have Yarikawa, we have Castle Shimura, and then we have Port Izumi. And then we have so many duels in between. Like it's gonna be a chock filled uh, movie, just like nonstop action. So yeah, it's gonna be really hard for them to put it all in there. The actor who played Kublai Khan in Marco Polo would be a good choice for Khotun. Yeah. Yeah, I guess Patrick Gallagher, I don't think he speaks Japanese, but he would have been great as Khotun Khan. I would have loved that if he played, um, if he still played as Khotun. He's really special. Season 3 was supposed to cover the Mongol invasion of Japan. Oh, that's too bad. Hmm. Was that going to be more of a historical story and not like fictional? Because yeah, Ghost of Tsushima goes pretty fictional. It's hardly historical. It's almost like conspiracy theory story, actually. It's kind of funny that way. Um, I think for some nice fan service, they need to have at least one scene in the movie where Jin pets a fox. Yeah, that sounds like a requirement. And they should also have an onsen scene. Maybe he'll be reflecting on his past, and maybe that's how we get some like flashbacks, is when he's in the onsens. They need that. Um, what else would be kind of nice to see in the movie, even briefly? I guess if I'm trying to think of like other animals that we might see. I guess we could see like the golden bird up in the trees somewhere. Those would be Easter eggs for the gamers for sure. Like those little things. The actor of Rizzo, who also played a Mongol warlord in Marco Polo. Oh wow. Leonard Wu. Yeah, I guess he could play no, non-Japanese character. Yeah, what if they get all the cast of Ghost of Tsushima to play Mongols? Then that would work, right? Oh yeah, they need the wind. Absolutely. They need the wind to somehow be a part of it. They need like somehow it guides Jin to like very specific important things. It has to be in there. Yeah. Monkeys. Maybe. I wonder if they would have Tsushima cats because like they're on Iki Island, but they could put them in Tsushima just as like a little thing because they are natural to the island. Um, like they really do exist there. And foxes do not exist on the real Tsushima, which is funny. Uh, he may do a couple of haikus, so he'll definitely do the haiku at the end. That would be wonderful. Um, but he could do another haiku somewhere else. I wonder where. Hmm. Wonder if they'll make a gladiator reference with it, like the game does. Oh, do you mean like a dream sequence kind of thing? Like from Gladiator? Tsushima cats were adorable. Yep, very cute. Because I know they maybe instead of writing a haiku, he might write a waka, which is like an older version of a haiku, and those had more lines. Instead of 3 lines, I think there were 5 lines. They might do that. Or was it 6 lines? No, it's 5 lines. Yeah, to do a waka poem. What else would be kind of fun? I think they should have as many flashbacks from the game as possible. They can be really short. They can just be like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Some sort of scene with young Jin and Shimura. They need to have a couple of those. Um, that's very important, I think. Yeah, I kind of remember that scene. Yep, wind blows through the field and Maximus holds his hand out while he walks. Here's a pitch I have for the beginning of the movie. See what you guys think about this. I would love it if they would actually do this. Um, so it starts out like a blurry kind of screen. It would be like a field like that, but it's stormy. So you have pampas grass, and it's cloudy, and it's kind of windy too. And it basically looks like the menu screen of the game, you know? And then even though like the background is kind of blurry, but you see like a dark figure come closer to the screen. Not like maybe right in front of the screen, but like off to the side a little bit. And then all of a sudden you see a sword slam down into the ground. And like for a brief second you see that it has the Sakai symbol on it, because that's Jin stabbing his sword into the grass. And then for that one moment you see like it's like the menu screen. And then we wake up out of this like vision, and then it turns out it's a dream that Shimura is having the night before Komona Beach. And it's kind of a shocking dream for him because uh, that sword was plunging into his chest in the dream. So he's like, "Oh, I'm being killed by Jin somehow." And then that's kind of like a foreboding, foreshadowing of Shimura's fate, that he gets like a dream. And that way they can have like a little bit of a uh, uh, Easter egg of the menu screen in the game, in the have it in the movie, but then also kind of have it applied to like the bigger meanings of the story itself, something like that. Wouldn't mind Maiko Kaji playing Lady Masako, singer and actress. Reference is a great Lady Snowblood. That sounds familiar. Lady Snowblood. I feel like I've heard that. Maiko or Meiko Kaji. Let me look her up. Yeah, she would be good for that grandmother age. Yeah. Yeah, that would work a lot. Oh, you know what? You know what's like absolutely the most important thing they need to get right with the movie is they need the music there. Maybe they can get this composer, what's his name? Ilan Eshkiri, who wrote all the music for the game. He's written a ton of samurai films already. So he's up to snuff. He can do it. They need to hire this guy again so that he can play the music. Have they started filming the movie? No, unfortunately not. They probably won't start till like a year from now. Because Chad said he had at least like two other projects he's working on. Something like that. But filming doesn't take that long. It doesn't take a whole year to film something. It can take like 3 months or 4 months, like if you really like work at it. But yeah, they need the music. Absolutely. They need all of this stuff. They need Jin's theme, the Way of the Ghost theme, all that battle music. They need to have some parts of it that are um, just like the game. Yes, having a premonition. I kind of like the idea of, although the game is from Jin's perspective, I like the idea that we really need to look at Shimura's perspective all along. So I think Shimura having like a bad dream before Komoda Beach, something that kind of like unsettles him just the littlest bit, might actually help explain like some of his like behavior throughout the game, where he's very obsessive about Jin. But yeah, having like looking at it from his perspective of being like, why would someone I trust so much want to betray me? And kind of looking at it from that way. And then we don't lose sight because you have to keep both perspectives in hand, Jin's and Shimura's, um, to some degree. So that's why I would want something like that, because then the only people that would understand that are the gamers that already know the story. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. He's rebooting Highlander too. Yeah, he's working on that. Mm. For you guys, what's your favorite music from the game? All these little clips of like background music that I've done. I love just having it in the background so I can do work or focus or things like that. But like in the soundtrack itself, I think my favorites are um, Sacrifice of Tradition and then either Bushido or Seiki from the Tsushima suites. So those three are definitely my favorite. I made a whole music video based on the Bushido track. I can find it here. That was one of my favorite projects to do. I'm kind of wondering if I get a PS5, I might redo that music video from scratch. I just liked the structure of that piece, like really a lot. I liked how it kind of told the story, and that's why I made it into like a video. There we go. Go back to the screen here. Yeah. If you guys are curious to see some of my work, that's one of the things I really like doing that one. The ghost theme and the Act 3 ending one. Yeah, that's the Sacrifice of Tradition. Yeah. Yeah. Right about that. Yep. Go see Arikawa. I think you find that scene. Is that Kudoku? That might be the one. Oh, if it's not that one, maybe it's yeah, because I associate there's two themes with the Yarikawa uh scene because there's like the victory theme, but then there's like the duel theme also, which is like really cool. That's two separate parts. But yeah, the music is wonderful in the game. They need to capture that melody. I got very attached to the specific melodies of the game. So it's start because the strikes are over with and things can start to kind of get back to normal. I think we will see a little bit more news about the game as it goes on. So whenever there's a major update, maybe it's just hearing someone gets tagged onto the production. If it's the composers, actors, I'll do a stream like this now and then we can discuss it, go over stuff. I can also make shorter videos that just kind of uh, uh, summarize the latest news and stuff. So I'll be sure to check into my channel now and then in case I post anything to do with uh, movie news and also the game news. So those are two things we can look into since there's no updates anymore about um, the this first game or Legend. There's uh no patches, nothing like that anymore. They've moved on long ago. So um, I guess if you just want to check into my channel now, then greatly appreciate it. If you can give me a subscribe. Um, I'll try to post something every couple weeks, at least like once or twice a month, to keep the channel alive. I used to post weekly, but uh, there's just not as much stuff to do anymore. Part where Jin unlocks the ghost dance. Music chants kick in. Yep. They need that. Yep. That's a checklist thing. They gotta do the scene. Because I showed it to my mom. Because like my mom uh doesn't know anything about the game until I showed her some cutscenes and stuff. And I showed her the music for that and she was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty good." So when the movie comes out, um I'm gonna get all the people I know in my life to go watch it. If they can handle extreme violence and trauma and stuff, though, I think it's worth watching. So, all right. Well, I've reached 1 hour and a little over 15 minutes, so I'll be ending the stream here. But thank you everyone for stopping by today. Um, share it around with people about um, this subreddit post. Um, share it with your people because anyone that's kind of wondering what are the chances of the film being good, I think we're taking all the right steps right now for Ghost to be like really successful. It really could nail things, just like the HBO Last of Us. TV series, I think we have a chance of getting something really great with the movie. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.